What is up, Locks Mob? Christian Hardy coming to you with another edition of Locks of the Day. Today is June 8th. It is a Friday? And we got a 14-game massive slate as per usual for these Fridays as they go. If you want to check us out, we've got everything on sale in the shop right now. Everything is about 50% off. Some of it isn't quite 50% off, but for the most part, everything 50% off. We've got a MLB and World Cup package coming for $50 for a month, and then a lot of other packages here, GPP lineups, optimal lineups, doing well. Yesterday's video, if you guys missed it, we're actually going to start on DraftKings because yesterday's video we had Curtis Granderson hit a home run, Evan Gattis hit a home run, Danny Valencia hit a home run on DraftKings, and then we only missed one on FanDuel with Dustin Fowler, who went 0 for 4. And I also wanted to pull up, I don't know what Jarrett Cole finished with, but we also had him yesterday, finished with 27.9 DK points. 8 strikeouts through 6. He got kind of rattled in the beginning, but came through pretty strong. So nice little game from him there as well. And that will bring us to today, where the pitcher we're going to be locking in, I think a lot of people will be locking in, even with all the pitchers on the slate. I really think that Chris Sale is probably the move. Sale, I mean, his strikeout rate is pretty insane this year. I think we all know that. But versus the White Sox, left-handed batters, lefties versus the White Sox have 29.9% K rate, 305 xWOBA. This lineup has versus left-handed batters. That's a projected lineup. And the White Sox have a super low team total. It's under 3 points. So Sale, highest K prediction of the day. He's been beat up the last few games. You go to his game log here. 2 weak games from him. But he's priced down at 11-1 still. His batted ball data through those 2 games was just fine. Hard hit rate, exit velocity still low, even in those games that he's been giving up runs. You see 4 and 6 here. So, like I said, if he can give up runs, but I mean, the hard hit is still low. He's a 295 favorite. So, I mean, he hasn't put up less than 6 Ks in any game this year. I mean, even when he gave up all those runs against, the Braves, you still got 8 strikeouts. So, this guy has a really solid floor. Even in his worst game this year, he's got 8 points. So, I mean, and that's the White Sox. This is against the White Sox, I mean, we're talking about here, not the Braves. So, very, very, very solid play there. Got a few other pitchers I wanted to mention before we move on. There's a lot of them up here today. I mean, there's a lot of them up here. Verlander's in a good spot. Steven Strasburg is in a playable spot. I really like DeGrom. I think his upside against the Yankees is really good. He has been absolutely crushing the last 4 games since he came back from that injury. In the mid-range, you've got Vince Velasquez, you've got Caleb Smith, both in good spots. Walker Buehler has pretty high K upside. Pretty much not looking down low. So expect to save on bats, I should say, and spend up a pitcher. I mean, the lowest pitcher I see that I'm playing is probably Garrett Richards here at 7-7. So just kind of think about that as you're building lineups. I guess it's probably one of the most expensive players we're going to play today, actually, is my first lock. It's Matt Carpenter. Carpenter, really just like the Cardinals lefties against Matt Harvey today. Harvey's been pretty good against righty, but has super heavy splits versus lefties. 410 WOBA, 510 xFIP, 42% hard hit, almost giving up 3 home runs per 9 to lefties this year, and a pretty decent sample size. So Carpenter gets a ballpark upgrade. Really just love the Cardinals in this ballpark, and this is a great spot for him. I mean, they're going to face a few other bad hands in this series, but this is the first. Not only do they face bad hands, but they're going to get a great ballpark upgrade playing in Great American Ballpark. Carpenter is still positively regressing and has over a 200 ISO against righties this year, 373 WOBA over the last year games versus right-handed pitching, so he's in a good spot. Another guy that I thought I'd mention, I don't really know if I want to consider him a lock or not, but we're going back to a different Fowler today. He's 3-3 on DK, which I think is a really good price, as long as he bats 7th or up. If he bats 6th, that's even a lot better. Fowler really coming at a cheap price here, like I said. Batted ball speed, hard hit percentage, both up over the last 2 weeks. He provides a little bit of power. I mean, he's in the I think 160, 170 range ISO versus right-handed pitchers. But against Harvey, really, really like him in this ballpark. So those are the 2 Cardinals we're looking at. Their team total is over 5, I believe. So guy at first base we're looking at. And this is just going to be for DK. I think on FanDuel we're going to make a change. But Justin Smoke, over the last year, 364 WOBA, 254 ISO versus right-handed pitcher. Andrew Cashner really doesn't strike out. Smoke is a guy who might be prone to strikeouts, but Cashner really doesn't do that. Hasn't given up home run in 3 games. Cashner hasn't, but he's given up 11 in his first. He gave up 11 home runs in his first 10 starts. So we know that he can give up home runs. He just hasn't been doing it recently. Really like Smoke in this matchup against a righty with a 5-team total, and they're heavy favorites here. So over the last year, 364 WOBA, 254 ISO against right-handed pitching, I said already. So there's a few other Toronto guys I like. Smoke is just my favorite of them. And the last guy I wanted to mention, I guess really it's going to depend on where they fit. But for me, on DraftKings, I'm going to go with Daniel Descalso. But you can also play, keep in mind, Jake Lamb. Really, it's just going to be Coors. I mean, that's Coors against Marquez. Marquez giving up a 422 WOBA, 5.79 xFIP against lefties and Coors this season. I mean, his stats otherwise are pretty decent, but against lefties and Coors, it's easily his worst splits that he has. Descalso has been on fire this year, 398 WOBA, 259 ISO versus righties this season, and that's with the games he's played under the humidor in Arizona. So he's a really good play. Peralta's a good play. Jake Lamb, obviously, he's the weakest of these three so far this year against righties, just a 324 WOBA and 167 ISO, but he's also going to be in play, and like I said, he's just priced up over Descalso. I think I just prefer Descalso as long as he bats fourth in this lineup. Another guy I wanted to mention, if he plays on Ketel Marte, putting him at shortstop at 2.9 really makes a lot of sense. I mean, as long as he bats 6th, 7th, or even if he ends up batting up in the top of the lineup, which probably won't happen anymore with John Jay here, but he might. He's a great value play at 2.9 on DK. I mean, it's pretty much hard to pass it up in Coors, especially I could see a game where he can put a single into that big Coors outfield, gets in some space, and turns it into a double, or turns a double into a triple, excuse me. So he makes a lot of sense. So that's kind of our core. If you want to go with the actual locks of the day, I would take those three: Smoke, Carpenter, Descalso, and then pretty much you're going to want to spend down from there. I mean, if you lock in a guy like Vince Velasquez at your SB2, you got 33.6 left for each. So and then if you put in Fowler, and assuming that Fowler and assuming that Kettle both get in the lineup, and they should, just because of the splits, in my opinion, you got 4,000 per, spend down at catcher, and you got 2 outfielder spots that you can spend on. I think it's a pretty good build that you could go with. And then I wanted to jump over to FanDuel, pretty much the exact same thing. I mean, we're going to play Sale, and it's the same thing with the pitchers. You can go down a little bit. There's guys here. There's a guy, DeGrom, here that's in a good spot. Strasburg's in a good spot. Some people might play Trevor Bauer at that price. Pretty good price for him. Velasquez is down here a little cheaper. I mean, there is a lot of good pitcher spots today. So don't be scared to go get a guy like even down here at Caleb Smith or Garrett Richards. I'm preferring to pay up. I really like the upside of Sale in this matchup and the floor. So, yes. Anyway, it's pretty much the same guys on this lineup. It's pretty much going to be Carpenter. He's going to play third base. It's going to be – I really like this I really like well, see, that's what I was going to say. Descalso is priced up over here on FanDuel, which makes him a little bit harder to play at the second base. But if you can afford the 4,000, I don't think you'll be able to. He's a really good play. I just think he's very, very priced up at that second base. I mean, he is the fifth. Yeah, tied for he's the fifth second baseman here, which is quite crazy for Daniel Descalso. But, I mean, they priced him up well. They did it. I mean, his stats validate the dollar amount with 398 WOBA. So Carpenter, and then I wanted to also play. You can play Descalso. I'm probably just gonna plug in Marte because you're gonna really need to save money over here. Oh, they have him priced up too. One of those Diamondbacks. I mean, you can play any of them. I'll probably just plug in Descalso for now. But now that I'm looking at all their prices, and then you're gonna look for a guy like Dexter Fowler probably at 2.8. You're gonna look at a guy like Mitch Moreland at 3.5. That's another value, but you're looking at you're gonna have to get some values in this lineup. So we're gonna wait for the lineups to come out and kind of see how things fit together. But Carpenter, Fowler is a really good price over here. I like him a lot. Mitch Moreland is at 3.5. I think that's a really good price as well against Dylan Covey. Moreland kills it versus right-handed bats, obviously. 354 WOBA, 245 ISO over the last season, and this season a 342 ISO. Covey hasn't given up a home run through 22 innings this year, but still a lot of hard contact. Playing in Fenway. Boston's really a good team today. I mean, even though Covey, his stats aren't there so far this year, it looks like he's going to negatively regress coming up very, very soon. So I think Boston is a good spot to get him back really to where we've seen him be in past seasons. I mean, but I'm probably not going to be a team where I stack Boston today just to kind of hedge myself against Dylan Covey actually being this good. So, yeah, that's our locks of the day. Basically, on this site, it will be Moreland, Descalso, and Carpenter rather than Smoke, Descalso, and Carpenter. So that's kind of what you're looking at. If you want to take it back over to Locks DFS, this is where you can buy our passes. Our lineups will be posted on the website. We've got our cheat sheets posted on the website as well at all times. So, and also on Twitter at Locks DFS. And we'll always be there to talk to you guys or whatever you guys might need DFS wise. Also, our GBP lineups 3 a day for both websites. So again, it's locksdfs.com. That is it for me, Christian, and I will be back tomorrow with another video.